Hello everyone, it's Andy Vogel. This was my presentation on the digital divide and special needs. All right, so the digital divide and special needs presentation. So the digital divide refers to the gap between those who can benefit from digital technology and those who cannot. So it's not just owning a computer or being connected to the internet anymore. It's evolved over time. So is it just access to technology? No. Extending unmeaningful access to digital technologies to the rural sector of emerging markets could actually widen the digital divide. Think of gaming. So when I lived in China, I would go to something called the Wamba, which is a computer bar, and they were all over town. And a lot of people who did not own computers or have access to the internet at that time would go to these Wamba, including myself. And I would watch people play video games for hours and hours. In fact, people would watch movies and films and all sorts of things, but very few people, really only myself, would be doing academic research in these Wamba. So computer ownership with within the digital divide. So some issues having to do with computer ownership are, I mean, you can own a computer at your house, but are you connected to the internet? At what speed do you have internet service? Is there information of interest, content of interest online that you're able to informally educate yourself through? Or do you know how to get to that content? A lot of it is knowledge of information literacy. Okay, digital commerce, are you able to pay your bills or shop online to get special deals? Are you able to save hours of convenience by doing checking account and save money? Digital commerce is pretty big one. And then social capital and mobility, are you able to access language learning resources? Are you able to apply to university? Are you able to search for scholarships? Are you able to find good hotel deals or map a trip someplace? It's all, most things are available online and are best researched online. So social capital and mobility is huge with the digital age. So libraries and free hotspots are main resources for bridging the digital divide. It's estimated that 5 million families are without the internet, and they're struggling to keep up. Particularly, there's this new concept called the homework gap, because 7 in 10 teachers now assign homework that requires web access in the evenings, and it's no wonder why. And 1/3 of kindergartners through 12th graders in the US from low-income or rural households are unable to go online from home, which of course is widening the homework gap. Okay, so people just simply aren't able to gather the same amounts of knowledge in this new digital age as people who have access to high-speed internet. Ownership of mobile devices. So lots of people suggest that these handheld devices are great for closing the gap, but are they really? Well, of course, people will have more internet connectivity, but they're really less likely to be online and less likely to be doing informal learning about the topics that they would like to learn about. I mean, think about doing any kind of scholarship or research or producing any kind of information other than posting to social media or making some videos or a snap or something. Are you really able to write a research paper via handheld device. Well, yes, but it's very cumbersome, and without a keypad and a full screen, it gets rather tedious, and it's not efficient, is it? So bridging the digital divide issues. Some issues that people are having are especially in schools, or we don't have savvy tech professionals at many schools, and broadband internet or dial-up internet even, or not even having access to high-speed internet connections is a serious issue. Indeed, a lot of people are connected to the internet at home or at school, but they don't know how to use technology to the best of its ability, which would require these savvy tech professionals. And so they're not using it to the best of its capabilities and are falling behind. Indeed, a lot of school districts and homes need have these Wi-Fi dependent tablets or laptops, but then the internet is so slow that it renders them useless. So helping to close the digital divide, we can kind of adjust resources and assignments. Resources would be those tech-savvy professionals. I think there'll be an increasing need, if there already is, but increasing need. Expand access at school to these additional resources and internet. Work with the community to get faster internet. Work with sectors in the community, for instance, Cox in Topeka or AT&T, the people that bring internet, try to work a deal and form community partnerships to expand access at schools. You can inform parents about low-cost access and options. Some people suggest coding become a new foreign language. I completely agree. And then there are international organizations also discussing this topic at length, such as the Digital Divide Institute, that's bringing a meaningful broadband to everyone. Having traveled significantly around the world, I find that, in fact, a lot of the world already provides fast, cheap internet by making it more competitive. I find that the internet in the United States is some of the most costly in the world. In fact, I think in my opinion, it's the most costly in the entire world. And so, and it's slow. When I lived in China, the internet was like $10 a month or less. And even in a rural village, the internet would be faster than it is in Topeka. So, interesting. Makes you wonder who is creating these narratives. I know there's a lot of money in technology, so we have to be careful. Indeed, if we're switching over to special needs, the USAA Education Foundation states that special needs can be categorized into 4 distinct types: physical, developmental, behavioral, emotional, and sensory impairment. There are a lot of meaningful ways to address special needs through technology that were not available decades or even years ago, such as visually and hearing impaired students can use all kinds of resources to hear and or to see things that they did not have access to. Technology has a lot of specific websites that can help students with learning disabilities. I help my students with learning disabilities by taking them to websites that can help change words if they're dyslexic or if they're attention deficit, can provide meaningful text and ways to interact with information that they couldn't previously by just reading or the presentation styles from previous years. Indeed, information to support special needs students and teachers abound on the internet, and you can find out all about things to help students, resources to help students, but also about the special needs themselves in much more detail than has ever been humanly possible. And then lessons and activities for special students is massive, using resources that teachers have already posted online, proven success, researching databases and software that can help these students, the specific needs of students, whatever their special need may be, are in abundance online. So the digital divide and special needs at Washburn. I think Washburn has campus-wide Wi-Fi for students who attend Washburn. There's also, the last summer began something called the Success Institute, which I think invites and recruits students who come from certain demographics that have been stated in the literature are at risk to the digital divide. They bring them on campus and help to bridge specifically some of the issues that they have with technology and create more information literacy online. Washburn also has something called the Disability Services. And they have, well, you can see a list here of the types of academic and classroom accommodations that they have. And in fact, they also have some resources for teachers as well. However, I think both of these could be improved. I think the Success Institute could teach specific skills to bridge the digital divide. I'm not sure they call it the digital divide or address something specific, but I've emailed James Bearclaw to see if I could be of any assistance this summer in providing a savvy specialist and information, emerging technologies and information technology to address the digital divide. We could also create hotspots on campus or around the city for teens or high school students. Washburn hotspot, I think, or maybe expand our hotspot on our Wi-Fi on Washburn to go into the local neighborhoods. I think that would be a pretty cool idea. We could change the name of Disability Services, I think, to something more contemporary, such as special needs or just not disability. I'm not sure disability is a dated term. I think we should also create scholarships for special needs students to bring them on campus so we could benefit from their diverse opinions and interact with them in class. And I think we should provide a platform for the opinions of the special needs students, because indeed they are special. And I think that their opinions and what they bring to a classroom discussion and to the lives of fellow students and our campus culture would greatly benefit Washburn students. So I have a lot of references. I have them linked here onto a Google Doc. So you can click that and find out more information and where I reference some of my information from. So those are that's a brief description on the digital divide and special needs. I made this presentation through YouTube because I wasn't able to put my voice onto my Prezi. I'm not sure how other classmates have done it. Maybe they have a better version of Prezi than I do, but that is it. So thanks everybody for listening, and I hope everything worked out on my information here. Thanks.